Let me ask you something. Do you know when to say no to a client? And I don't mean no to a task. I mean no to working with them. Because here's the thing that nobody tells you when you're starting out. Not every client is the right client. And taking the wrong ones, well, they don't just cost you time and energy. It costs you creatively. It can be emotionally draining. Sometimes it costs you the reputation you've been building. Because work you're not proud of still has your name on it.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
So how do you know when to walk away? Let me give you some red flags that I've learned to pay attention to. Red flag number 1. They can't tell you why they hired you specifically. This one is subtle but important. If you ask a potential client what drew them to your work and they can't really answer, well, that's a problem. If it's vague, if it feels like you were just the most available or the most affordable, that's a sign. The clients who value what you actually do can tell you exactly what they responded to. The ones who can't, well, they're not hiring you. They're hiring your camera. Red flag number 2. They want to micromanage the creative before you've even started. Look, there's a version of client involvement that's healthy and collaborative. And then there's the version where every idea you pitch gets second-guessed, every reference gets questioned, every decision becomes a negotiation. If that's happening in the pitch stage, before you've even signed, imagine what production is going to look like. It doesn't get better from there, it only gets worse. Here's another red flag. The budget and the expectation don't match up. This one sounds obvious, but it trips people up constantly. I see it all the time. Especially when you really want the project. If a client has a champagne vision and a beer budget and they're not open to adjusting either one, yeah, there's issues there. You can't solve those issues with hard work. You will grind yourself into the ground trying to close the gap, and the client will still be disappointed because the gap was never closable to begin with. Here's another red flag. Something feels off and you can't explain it. I know. That sounds really vague, like you're just listening to your gut, but I want to say it anyways because I think that's exactly what's happening. There have been times where everything on paper looks fine. The budget was right, the project was interesting, the client seemed reasonable, but I just had this low-level unease I couldn't fully articulate. And every time I ignored that feeling, I regretted it. Your instincts are pattern recognition. They're processing things your conscious mind hasn't caught up to yet. So don't dismiss them. Maybe it's not enough to make you walk away, but it's worth listening to. It might change the way you communicate or the expectations you set. Here's another red flag. They don't respect your time before the contract is signed. How a client treats you during the courtship phase is the most accurate preview you're going to get of how they'll treat you during the production. If they're slow to respond, constantly scheduling, asking for extensive free work in the pitch process, that behavior doesn't disappear once you're hired. If anything, usually it gets more pronounced because now they have leverage, right? The paycheck. Now here's the harder part. Because knowing all these red flags is one thing, actually walking away is another. The reason most creatives don't say no, even when every signal is telling them to, is financial pressure. And look, I get it. I mean, we do tons of work, like client work. We love clients and we understand the importance of a paycheck. When the pipeline is thin and someone is waving a check in your face, saying no feels almost irresponsible. But here's what I've learned. The wrong client doesn't just take up a time slot on your calendar. They take up mental and emotional space, bandwidth. That could have gone to another project. That could have gone to the right project. They pull your attention away from your best work. They make you tired, sometimes resentful in ways, and that bleeds into everything else you're doing. Saying no to the wrong client is how you stay available, creatively, energetically, practically, for the right one. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to burn a bridge. A simple, I don't think we're the right fit for this one, is a complete sentence. Say it with warmth, mean it, and move on. Protect your space, protect your work, and protect your creative bandwidth. Look, I hope you found this helpful. These are just some things that I learned along the way. If you did, click subscribe below. Follow us. We're constantly releasing more videos, trying to share some of the knowledge that we found. All right. And look, go out there, grab your camera, and create something cool. Awesome, guys. See ya. Bye.